Welcome to a webinar to discuss the World FGD markets published by the McIlvaine Company. And there is both free information and the report on the McIlvaine Company website. So we're going to go to the web browser here and pull up McIlvaineCompany.com. And we will first look at the news releases. Click on news releases and look at a news release that was released a few weeks ago about an 8.8 billion FGD world system market. Now, FGD refers to desulfurization of flue gases from power plants, and it's a very big market. It's going to be an $8.8 billion market in 2011 just for the systems, not for the reagents and some of the other repair parts and things. And these big scrubber systems use, many of them use, and most of them use wet calcium that's ground in big ball mills and then reacts with the SO2. So that's going to be a $7.4 billion, almost $7.5 billion market. They're what they call dry scrubbers, which will be about $1 billion market. And then there are other types of scrubbers that make ammonium sulfate and sulfuric acid and other products. The market, surprisingly, is mostly in Asia these days, despite the bad rap that China gets about not doing much about pollution. It actually is spending much more than any other country in terms of scrubbing the flue gases. So it's the biggest FGD market, and the rest of Asia is following along. Japan has scrubbers on all its plants, so does Taiwan and South Korea. India is lacking, but will be moving forward. So this is the news release. Let's go to the actual report itself. So we're going to pull this up on our website. It's one of maybe 100 different reports that the McIlvaine Company does provide, and it's called FGD World Markets Report. We've been publishing it for over 30 years, and it's used to track all the individual plants, but mainly as and that's in conjunction with another system we have called the Utility Upgrade Tracking System. So the real purpose of this report is to be able to forecast the markets, but in terms of revenues and in terms of the megawatts. So you can pick the world region, for instance, and select any country and see how big the FGD market is going to be in Germany, for instance, and you see that there wasn't any business in 2012 and modest business going forward. And you contrast that, for instance, to China, and you see a big difference there. So China's got a plan again to spend $3 billion instead of just a few hundred million going forward. They've had such a huge program going that it looks like the market's shrinking, but actually at $2.8 billion per year is a very sizable business. It's just that there were a lot of new plants with scrubbers in that 2008 to 10 period. The megawatt specific forecast is also there, so you can go to any country, again, such as the United States, and see the megawatts of new FGD systems that are being forecast for that. So these actually are the startup dates. So there's 10,000 megawatts of FGD systems that will start up at existing plants in the United States. New construction is not very much. A couple thousand megawatts is all here. So this is another very useful tool that gives it to you in megawatts as opposed to dollars. We do have supplier market share information. We have a networking directory that's very valuable. The hot topic hour recordings are extremely valuable because we have a lot of good information in it. So here's, for instance, this utility MACT, which is coming up, will be proposed here in the next few weeks. And so just a few weeks ago, we had some of the top consultants in the country, such as Black & Veatch and AECOM and others, talking about what the MAC is going to bring. And then we had technical presenters such as W.L. Gore, who has a new solution. And then we had the EPA Energy and Strategies group that's actually putting together these regulations. And the MAC regulations are going to impact the amount of SO2 because you've got to remove HCl. And since you have to remove HCl, you'll be removing the SO2 along with it. So it is going to boost the FGD systems in the United States. In fact, we think that it'll result in all the plants in the United States having to scrub. So this is important information that you get in the updates and in the that you can click on here and see the updates with this kind of information in it as well. And then we have the networking directory, and if you want to talk to somebody at Sargent Lundy or Black & Veatch or Babcock & Wilcox or one of these other companies, let's just take Babcock & Wilcox here, you can see we have 54 people that you can contact, at one of their offices. This is the office in Ohio that's very active in the FGD business. We have a FGD Decisions, which is a unique whole decision tree system, which is also used by the utilities to select their equipment. And you can actually see the whole decision tree and sequential decision tree and so forth here, scrub, not to scrub, and if you do decide to scrub, here's what all your options are, physical, procedural, and so forth. And then you can go down to contractors, fabricators, materials of construction, and on and on. So there's thousands of pages of information in that as well. But in addition to that, we do have the FGD Newsletter that comes out. So you can actually search that for calcium or mercury or ammonia or whatever. So you're going to get a lot of different searches here. So it's 230 calcium-related articles here. And we also get abstracts, so you can get the papers that are published elsewhere in this same set of searches. So the news is another way to go about it. That's with a search aspect that we just did, and we have supplier market shares. That's another thing that we're into. The worldwide FGD systems. We're not just talking about the FGD systems in the United States. We are showing all the ones that are in Hong Kong and Germany and so forth there. So you can actually see at any point in time where all the systems that have been put in. Now this doesn't take the place of our tracking system, which does track all the new projects, but the purpose of this is more of a strategic report. If you want a project-by-project system, that would be our tracking system. But this is a report that is updated continually and does give you the forecasts of the FGD systems, not only in total megawatts and dollars, but does give you a breakout by the type of reagent that's going to be used, which is important for anybody supplying the materials, the pumps, or, of course, the systems themselves. I'd like to thank you for spending some time viewing the information on the world FGD markets, and we would be welcome any questions that you may have. Thank you.